determination to conquer all my ambitions.
Welcome back to the Too Much Podcast, presented by Manscaped, BioSteel, and Free Bars. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall. We have a very special announcement tonight, and for our kids, for the U15 AAA Scott Pumps team. We'll turn everything over to our staff that this team has this year. We'll start off with Jessica. Jessica, if you want to talk about what you do for the team and your role, and we'll just kind of lead off from there.
So I am the team trainer. I have been with MLAC for 3 years. This is my first year with U15. And I am in charge of the kids' wellness, any injuries, and overall well-being.
Perfect.
I'm Taylor. I'm the team manager. I've been managing my second year with Tim. Prior to that, I did video for the team.
I'm Brandon, and this is my first year with the club and the boys. I'm excited for the year.
Coach Troy. I'm Tim's youngest son. I'm going into my 6th year of coaching now. I grew up playing hockey with the Maple Leafs organization through Bantam AAA and Midget AAA, and I run the forwards for the team. And I'm really excited for the year. And thank you again, Josh, for having us on this podcast. And to our special guest, Mr. Button, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Okay, I guess I'll jump in. Tymchuk, head coach by title, but our staff is pretty integrated with everybody's like an associate coach. A special welcome to obviously Josh for hosting and Mr. Button taking his time out. Honorable mention to Brett Tymchuk. He's not here. He's the new dad. So, yeah, we were back with the Maple Leafs, coached for 10 years there. Started coaching in 1981. Hard to believe. And we do it for the fun of the game. There's a couple of key things that are really important to us in coaching this level. We have a few team values that we like to go through and we try to reiterate throughout the years. Family type atmosphere. We play for each other and have each other's backs. And as you can tell, there's a lot of family members on the staff, and Jess is now an honorable member of the family, and same with Hoagie. Honor and pride to play for the Maple Leaf we wear on our chest. It's a club that's been around for about 100 years. So there's a lot of history there. So there's a lot of pride that gets involved when you play for this association. Respect and integrity for the game. I think that's a big important for nowadays because there's so many distractions in the kids' games. To remember that's the humble part of it. A strong and competitive work ethic 24/7. This not only goes to hockey, but it teaches life skills where you get back into schooling and the workforce and becoming an adult and moving on your career. Positive attitude. There's always a lot of negatives around us. We always try to maintain a positive attitude whenever we can. Professional demeanor. Even though we're playing U15 AAA, we treat these guys like they're playing major junior or East Coast or even NHL with how we handle things and with our staff and, Jess and Tay, Troy and Hoagie and Brett. Accountability on and off the ice. It's tough to teach in nowadays society because sometimes accountability isn't sort of warranted or welcomed. So we want to make sure that that's still instilled in these players because what they do is very important and it can create and shape a lot of things in the future. Commitment to yourself, your teammates, the club, and your passion to play. Play for yourself. Commit in what you're playing for, and don't play for anybody else except for the guys that are important around you. Be humble. It's an honor, privilege to play this game at the highest level at your age group. Take nothing for granted every single day when you step on the ice. And sorry to be long-winded, but be thankful. You have support from your family, your friends, and your parents. And that's one thing that you can always say that play for those guys as well. So that's kind of what our creed and our team values are.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we have a very special guest. He is the TSN Hockey Insider, and he is the director of scouting with TSN. And he also won a Stanley Cup with the Dallas Stars. We'd like to welcome Craig Button with a very special message. And he also has an announcement to make for the 2022-23 Leadership Corps. Craig Button, welcome to the podcast, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. As your season gets underway, there's a lot of excitement from everybody. The beginning of a season brings hope, and it brings a lot of goals. And keep in mind that what you're trying to do is get better every day. Get better tomorrow, and then the day after, try to work on the things that can make you better that day. And look at it as long-term, but focus and be diligent as Coach Tim just talked about, work, and be determined in what you're doing to be the best player you can be, and, the best representative of not only the organization you're playing for, but for yourself and for your family. I mean, one of the things that we see today, and Tim touched on accountability, I would say to each and every one of you, be accountable to yourselves. I'm going to talk about who the leaders are going to be and announce that, and everybody, but everybody can be a leader. Everybody can be a leader, because you can be a leader of yourself in terms of how you carry yourself, how disciplined you are, how committed you are to not only what the coaches and everybody is trying to instill in you, but to also one another. And that's not just playing, that's in everything you do when you're a group. And the respect for one another is so important. And if you respect yourselves, I don't think you'll have any problem respecting others, whether it be your teammates, whether it be your coaches, the management staff, the training staff, and yes, your opponents, because your opponents deserve every amount of respect as much as anybody. So, keep in mind that, this is a time of your lives when it's when you're spirited and you got lots of enthusiasm, and you should, because you're pursuing goals and you have dreams in your minds that you want to achieve, and they're worthwhile goals. And no goals can be achieved without a real determination and a real sacrifice and determination, because if those goals are important to you, other things will not get in that way. So keep that in mind as you practice, as you play, as you travel, as you come to the rink, as you think about playing. These are all important elements that will help you be the best you can be. And so as I was asked to introduce the leadership team for the upcoming season. So I'll get right to it. Announcing the captain, Declan Brinkman, also known as Brinks. I guess that's an obvious one, right? I mean, we just had shortened the name and add an S onto the back of it. But congratulations, Declan, on being named the captain of your team and your group. Obviously, you've exemplified leadership qualities that the coaches and the managers and everybody involved here feel strongly about having you wear and be designated as the captain. The assistants, Braden Franks, also known as Frank's Red Hot. I love Frank's Red Hot sauce. I put Frank's Red Hot on everything, and it's wonderful. And hey, that's a heck of a nickname. Madison Terry, also known as Maddie or Terry Towel. Oh, that's pretty interesting. How about Terry Cloth? Just throwing one in there for maybe somebody to consider. And the other assistant is Dylan Herbers, also known as Herbs or Herbie. His uncle Ian, longtime coach at the University of Alberta. I know your uncle. I've spent time with him as he's coached at different teams in the Hockey Canada group over the years. So, you can always lean on him, I'm sure, to give you some guidance. But it's a real honor for you four young players to be named in the leadership group. And I know that you will take this responsibility seriously. And just keep in mind, it's not just solely on your shoulders. Each and every player can be a leader. And you know what? Lean on one another to be the best team you can be, and provide the leadership that's necessary to be the best team and best individuals you can be on a day in, day out basis. So thanks for having me. I hope at some point during the coming season, I get an opportunity to see your team play. I'll try to make every effort to do exactly that.
Thank you, Craig. And thank you to everyone for joining us tonight.